Here are 5 things you should definitely do on today's Scorpio lunar eclipse. I'm Marina Ormes, and I am here with your Astro Vibe for Friday, May 5th. Today, there is a potent lunar eclipse, full moon and lunar eclipse in Scorpio, and the word for the day is intensity. So you may have been noticing this intensity or feeling it come, or feeling something happening that you're not sure what is going on. And so the energy of the moon coming into its fullness, of illuminating something, of revealing something, think of the light of the moon being reflected fully with the revelation of what is being reflected back to you. And that is the energy of a full moon. And then we add an eclipse into that, and that light is temporarily being blocked because of the alignment of the sun, the moon, and the earth all in the same plane during the exact full moon. So we've got that energy of a portal being opened. It opens us to this process of change, this transformation that is the key word for Scorpio. One of them anyway, right? Scorpio also deals with deeper places of mystery, of deeper truth, of power and themes of power and the balance of power and how to find your own place of empowerment. So themes of power, themes of transformation, themes of accessing a deeper truth, themes of shining a light into what is more in the shadows, or has been, right? Either in the unconscious or somewhere in the shadows where it's not being seen in the light of day. And so this eclipse is bringing something into the light of day that is needing to be seen to help you shift to live according to your deeper truth. And so today I want to share with you 5 things you should definitely do on the Scorpio lunar eclipse. Last Sunday, I shared 5 ways that that today's lunar eclipse brings change to the status quo. And so we have themes of not only Scorpionic and Plutonian transformation, because Pluto's energy is with us during this eclipse as it stationed retrograde in Aquarius on Monday. We also have themes of shakeup, of change, of unexpected developments with the sun's alignment with Uranus during the full moon lunar eclipse. So we've got themes of shakeup, themes of change, bigger picture themes of planets that are like Neptune, ready to release, getting, bringing us through the final degrees of Pisces in its process of releasing old cycles. And that's a long-term thing, but it's showing up in today's full moon lunar eclipse. And the energy of Scorpio is something we feel. So how can we work with this productively, powerfully, in ways that support our personal growth, our soul's evolution, our ability to manifest the kind of life we want to have, and to be part of creating and co-creating the kind of world we want to live in? So to get the most out of today's lunar eclipse energies, number 1 of my 5 things you should definitely do on the Scorpio lunar eclipse is take some alone time. So remember this, the theme of today is intense, right? There's some intensity happening. It's really important to get away from stimulation, to get away from the things that might potentially be there, bringing some overwhelm into your life or making you feel things quite a lot. So getting alone, getting into some sort of sacred space where you can just be with yourself, just experience what you're experiencing, and let it move, because it isn't necessarily something you can explain or convey in a way that makes sense to others. So you may not have an explanation for it. And that it's why we need that sacred time, that sacred space to be alone, to be with nature, to connect with a bigger picture of spirit or energies that support us. So you can do that through rest, through meditation, through going for a walk, through doing some sort of ritual, which could be powerful around this lunar eclipse. So whatever is in your flow, make sure you're taking some alone time in some way to honor this sacred process of change and what is emerging or unfolding inside of you, right? In that way that a caterpillar becomes a butterfly. It's mystery. We don't know how that happens. We don't know why, how the process of death and rebirth really goes into a place of mystery, a place where we don't have explanations, and yet it's very real, it's very powerful, and it's very potent. So we need to honor that process for ourselves. What is dying within us? What is up for rebirth within us? What are we becoming? What are we becoming that we couldn't have, that we can't understand yet, right? And so aligning with that deeper place of our soul's truth and where that feeling is leading us, even if we don't have words for it. Okay, so number one of the 5 things you should definitely do on the Scorpio lunar eclipse for today, May 5th, is take some alone time. Number 2 is pay attention to what you feel, because again, these changes, these shifts, this transformational process is taking place on the level of energy, of feelings, of emotion, of our ability to sense energy. And again, we can feel things that we don't have words for. And so pay attention to your body. What is your body feeling? Do you feel some sensations in your gut? Do you feel sensations in your heart, in your mind, in your emotional body? What are you feeling? And noticing and paying attention to just being present with what does it feel like? Is it uncomfortable? Does it feel good? Does it feel opening or expansive? Does it feel like it's taking you through something that feels challenging or difficult, or like you're being squeezed through a small tunnel, like a birth canal, right? So pay attention to what you feel. No judgment. There is no expectation, no judgment, no, you're not doing anything wrong. It's just about being with yourself and what you're experiencing. So that's part of how we honor that sacred process, is by being present with what we feel without needing to explain it or have a judgment or feel like it should be something different than what it is, because it is supposed to be exactly what it is, because that's what it is. So number 2 of 5 things you should definitely do on the Scorpio lunar eclipse is pay attention to what you feel. Notice, be present with what you feel, what your body feels, what you're feeling emotionally, and just noticing. That's all. Just noticing. Maybe you want to do some journaling about what it feels like, but if there are some words that are coming through, or some sounds or some art or something that you want to help that energy to be seen and felt and move and express, that could be useful as well. So pay attention to what you feel. All right. And then number 3 in 5 things you should definitely do on the Scorpio lunar eclipse. So number 1 was take some alone time. Number 2 is pay attention to what you feel. Number 3 is create space for building trust. And what I mean by this is you may have a relationship, right? Or a partner that this energy is showing up in the relationship. And so What is it you need to say? How do you need to be with each other? How do you need to create space together to work through whatever is coming up? And that same kind of trust building may need to happen with yourself. So you have a relationship with yourself. So what does it look like? What does it feel like to create space for building trust with yourself, building trust with your own process, trusting your own wisdom, like, some of those deeper places of trusting the process of your own growth, what is the universe bringing you? How are you showing up? Trusting yourself. And again, there's a relationship with yourself. There may be issues coming up in a relationship with another person, whether that's a romantic partner, an intimate partner, or whether that is just somebody who's showing up in your world as something that you need to notice and pay attention to and work through, right? An opportunity for growth. Sometimes it's not always comfortable. So creating space for that trust building, and maybe it's reaching a deeper place of intimacy with your partner. Maybe it's reaching a deeper place of ability to work together or collaborate with someone in your life, in your world. So create space for building trust, whether that's in partnership or whether that is with yourself. So that's number 3 of 5 things you should definitely do on the Scorpio lunar eclipse. So that could go with taking some alone time, right? And working on building trust for yourself during that alone time, or it could be separate. You could need some alone time, and then you could also need to have create space for a deep conversation with someone you care about. So however that shows up for you, you may find your own way to do that. And then number 4 of our 5 things you should definitely do on the Scorpio lunar eclipse is be kind to yourself. Be kind, be patient. As always, things that come up may not make sense to you. It may not be something that you understand or that fits your expectation. And that's kind of the nature of this lunar eclipse, is that what shows up may not fit the way you think it should be. So be kind to yourself. Notice if you go into any old patterns of self-judgment, of criticism, of being hard on yourself, or thinking you should be something else, or that you should be somewhere else on your to-do list, right? I should have had more of those things checked off. So be kind to yourself. Go, you know what? This is just the way life is right now. It's okay. You're doing some deep work. And I guarantee you that through doing that deep inner work, things will then fall into place, and the things on the to-do list will eventually get done, and probably will get done in a way that is more effective, more productive, and more efficient than if you push yourself and do it because you're feeling guilty. That's just kind of a truth. So be kind to yourself, let go of attachments, let yourself be where you're at today, because the work today is work of feeling. And that is always true when the moon is in Scorpio. So the work is sacred work, and it's the work of feeling things. Really, really important work, by the way, right? It builds the foundation of everything else we do. So we need to attend to our feelings and what is happening at the level of energy inside of us. Okay, so number 4 of 5 things you should definitely do on the Scorpio eclipse is be kind to yourself. And then number 5 is be kind to others. So just remembering too that everybody is experiencing this lunar eclipse, and not everybody is aware. Not everybody is taking care of their own self, right? Not everybody knows that there is a lunar eclipse, and that they should be patient with the process or working on building trust. So being kind to others is a way of saying, I'm not going to give you a hard time because I understand that you're going through something that I don't understand, right? It's the process that is taking place inside of us is mysterious. That is the nature of Scorpio. Scorpio deals with mystery, right? So kindness creates space for people who may not be consciously taking alone time and paying attention to what they feel, and it allows you to hold space with compassion to say, I understand this isn't easy for any of us. And so I'm not gonna push or get angry or reactive or have an unrealistic expectation of, it's not about getting things done. Again, it's about working out the energy. And so maybe through your ability to be kind to someone else, maybe that helps them shift. Maybe it helps them notice something, or forgive themselves for maybe they were being hard on themselves, or feeling upset about something. So that can create that space for healing. When you are kind to others, you're acknowledging that there is a bigger healing process going on, and that you want the best outcome in the long run, right? Okay, so to recap, 5 things you should definitely do on today's Scorpio lunar eclipse. And by the way, the energy of the eclipse, the energy of any full moon, begins a couple of days prior to the exact full moon and extends until a couple of days after. So I like to think of it as like a 5-day window, from 2 days before, then the day of, then 2 days after. With the energy of an eclipse, it's even bigger. Like, it ripples out even more and beyond. I mean, it's most intense during those 5 days, but the effects of what is shifting, what is emerging, what is changing, what is being let go of or being reborn is going to potentially ripple out into much into the future and potentially into the past as well. So it's the feelings and the change process that's happening is going to unfold over time. And also, depending on how it activates your chart, personally, your natal chart, if you have planets or angles, right, ascendant, descendant, midheaven, nadir, around the middle of Taurus, Taurus, Scorpio, any fixed signs, Aquarius, Leo. So the middle of any of the fixed signs, you're going to be especially activated by this lunar eclipse. So it's going to be a bigger deal, I guess, more significant in terms of when you think back on this time, that something important was going on. So, and it's true for all of us, but it may be more so for different people, and different eclipses impact different people more or less, depending on where it lands in your own chart. So, but for all of us, it's important to remember that this is going on, and just to remember that these are 5 things you should definitely do on the Scorpio lunar eclipse. So to recap, 1 was take some alone time. 2 was pay attention to what you feel in your body, in your emotions, in the energies around you, just being present and noticing. 3 was creating space for building trust, maybe having an important conversation, maybe taking time to build some trust for yourself and ask what that looks like. What does that mean? Do some journaling. Number 4 is be kind to yourself. Let go of expectations. Don't be hard on yourself. Be patient with the process. We don't have control over it. That is the nature of water signs, is that things are, uncontained. The water needs a container. So we need to be kind to ourselves, and let go of things that we thought that should be a certain way, right? And number 5 is be kind to others, because when you're kind to others, it's a way of affirming your support for healing and transformation and awareness and consciousness and all the things that facilitate healing and growth, which is what our real work of being human in this lifetime is about. It's about to discover who we are, to grow into our soul's purpose, right? To learn how to be the most effective you that you can be, right? And the most powerful you by aligning with the ways that you are here to make a difference, the ways that you're most creative and most empowered to live the life you want and make a difference in a way that helps to create the world you want to live in. All right. Thank you so much for being here. And I hope you enjoy this Scorpio lunar eclipse. It doesn't have to be hard. It can be fun if we know what's going on and we're willing to align with it. So I'm Marina Ormes. You can learn more about me at astrologyheals.com. Thank you so much for subscribing. And if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button, because I really appreciate it and it supports my work. If you're interested in getting a reading or learning how to work with me, check out astrologyheals.com. All right, thanks so much for being here and for subscribing to my channel to get daily updates on what the moon and the planets are doing and how they are supporting us in having unshakable self-care. So thanks for being here. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.